Management versus leadership. Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. You can have a title, an office, and a team and still have nobody willing to follow you, because management is about control, but leadership is about trust. And trust isn't given because of position. It's earned through action, consistency, and character. I've met managers who knew every rule in the book but couldn't inspire belief in a single person around them. And I've met leaders with no title at all who changed lives, shifted cultures, and built empires just by the way they showed up. That's the difference. Management tells people what to do. Leadership shows people what's possible. Management focuses on tasks. Leadership focuses on people. And if you don't understand that, you'll always wonder why your team is present in body but absent in spirit. A manager clocks hours. A leader builds momentum. A manager enforces compliance. A leader creates commitment. You can manage processes, schedules, and deadlines, but you lead hearts, minds, and vision. And the moment you stop seeing people as numbers and start seeing them as potential, everything changes. People don't give their best to someone who just monitors them. They give their best to someone who believes in them. Leadership requires responsibility without excuses. It means you take the hit when things go wrong and give the credit when things go right. It means you listen more than you speak and serve more than you demand. Real leaders don't hide behind authority. They step in front of adversity. They don't blame their team. They build their team. They don't fear strong people around them. They empower them, because leaders understand something managers often forget. Your success is multiplied through others. And here's the truth that separates the two. Managers wait for instructions. Leaders create direction. Managers protect their position. Leaders protect their people. Managers fear losing control. Leaders know that shared power creates stronger results. When you lead, you're not trying to look important. You're trying to make others important. That mindset shift changes everything. Leadership isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the calmest when everything is falling apart. It's about making tough decisions with empathy, holding standards without losing humanity, and pushing people to grow without breaking their confidence. Anyone can point out problems. A leader takes ownership of solutions. Anyone can demand respect. A leader earns it by showing up consistently, even when it's uncomfortable. If you want to build something that lasts, a company, a brand, a legacy, you can't just manage outcomes. You have to lead people. You have to inspire belief in a future they want to be part of. You have to be willing to grow before you ask others to grow, because people don't follow instructions. They follow example. They don't commit to rules. They commit to vision. So ask yourself this: are you managing to maintain control, or are you leading to create impact? Because management may keep things running, but leadership is what makes people run toward a purpose. And in the end, it's not the title that defines you. It's the lives you influence and the leaders you create along the way. Management controls tasks and processes, but leadership inspires trust, purpose, and commitment. And that difference is what separates teams that simply function from teams that truly perform. You can give someone a checklist, a deadline, and a set of rules, and they might do the job. But if you give them belief, clarity, and a sense of purpose, they'll give you more than the job. They give you effort, creativity, and loyalty. That's the line between managing and leading. One keeps things moving, the other moves people. Management focuses on what needs to be done. Leadership focuses on who is doing it and why it matters. A manager tracks performance, but a leader develops potential. A manager watches the clock, but a leader watches the growth. When people feel like they're just another task on a list, they do the bare minimum. When they feel seen, valued, and trusted, they push beyond expectations. Trust is the currency of leadership, and it can't be demanded. It has to be earned through consistency, integrity, and care. Leadership begins the moment you stop seeing people as tools and start seeing them as partners. It's understanding that every person on your team has dreams, fears, pressures, and responsibilities outside of work. When you lead with empathy, you create an environment where people feel safe to speak up, to innovate, to take ownership. And when people feel safe, they perform better. They take responsibility not because they're forced to, but because they want to contribute to something meaningful. Purpose is what transforms effort into excellence. A manager might tell someone what to do, but a leader explains why it matters. That why creates connection. It turns routine work into meaningful contribution. When people understand the bigger picture, they stop working for a paycheck alone and start working for a mission. And that mission becomes the fuel that keeps them going when things get tough. Commitment doesn't come from fear of consequences. It comes from belief. People don't commit to tasks. They commit to leaders who believe in them. They commit to leaders who stand with them in hard moments, who take responsibility when things go wrong, who give credit when things go right. Leadership is about accountability without arrogance, confidence without ego, authority without intimidation. When you lead, you understand that your behavior sets the standard. Your discipline becomes their discipline. Your attitude becomes their attitude. Your vision becomes their direction. You can't ask for excellence if you don't model it. You can't demand honesty if you're not transparent. You can't expect loyalty if you don't show it first. Leadership is not what you say. It's what you do consistently, especially when no one is watching. A manager might keep order, but a leader builds culture. Culture is what people do when you're not in the room. It's how they treat each other, how they solve problems, how they handle pressure. Strong leadership creates a culture of ownership, accountability, and pride. People don't need to be micromanaged when they're inspired. They manage themselves because they care about the outcome. In the long run, processes can be copied, systems can be replicated, and strategies can be learned. But trust, purpose, and commitment, that's what creates lasting success. That's what keeps people aligned, motivated, and moving forward together. And when you understand that leadership is about lifting others, not controlling them, you stop managing people and start building something far more powerful. A title can make you a manager, but only character, vision, and example make you a leader, because authority given by a position is temporary, but influence earned through behavior lasts. Anyone can be placed in charge. Anyone can be handed responsibility, but not everyone can inspire people to believe, to commit, and to give their best. Leadership begins when people choose to follow you, not because they have to, but because they trust who you are and where you're going. Character is the foundation. Without it, nothing else stands. People are always watching, even when you think they're not. They watch how you handle pressure, how you respond to failure, how you treat people who can't do anything for you. Your character shows in the small moments, when no credit is given, when no applause is coming, when doing the right thing costs you something. A leader understands that integrity isn't optional. It's the price of trust. And once trust is broken, no title can repair it. Vision is what gives people direction. A manager might focus on today's task, but a leader paints a picture of tomorrow. Vision gives meaning to effort. It answers the question people are silently asking: why does this matter? When people see a future they want to be part of, they commit emotionally. They stop working just to complete tasks and start working to build something bigger than themselves. A leader doesn't just see where things are. They see where things could be, and they help others see it too. But vision without example is just talk. Example is what turns words into action. People don't follow instructions nearly as much as they follow behavior. If you want discipline, you have to live it. If you want accountability, you have to model it. If you want growth, you have to pursue it yourself. A leader never asks others to do what they're unwilling to do. They go first. They out the standard through their actions, not their demands. True leadership requires humility. It means understanding that you don't have all the answers. It means being open to feedback, willing to learn, and strong enough to admit mistakes. Leaders don't protect their ego, they protect the mission. They don't need to be the smartest person in the room. They need to create a room where smart people can thrive. That humility builds respect, and respect builds loyalty. Leadership is also about consistency. You can't lead well one day and disappear the next. People need to know what to expect from you. They need to feel your presence, your support, your standards every day. Consistency creates safety. Safety creates confidence. And confidence allows people to take ownership, to innovate, and to grow without fear. When character, vision, and example come together, something powerful happens. People begin to trust not just your decisions, but your intentions. They believe that you care about their growth, not just the results. They feel valued, not used. And when people feel that way, they give more of themselves. They push harder. They stay longer. They rise higher. A title might open the door, but leadership is what keeps people walking through it with you. Titles change, positions end, but the impact you make on people stays with them long after the job is over. That's the difference between managing work and leading people. One controls outcomes. The other creates legacy.